Rural Uruzgan is a landscape of stark contrasts. Barren desert and mountains stretch across this unforgiving landscape and give way to verdant green valleys, lush orchards, streams and pastures. One could be forgiven for thinking one has stepped back hundreds of years in time, a landscape of mud houses and nomadic shepherds that herd their sheep across these differing plains, territory without real roads and no electricity. That is if it was not for the convoys of modern armor, of ISAF troops and Afghan national security forces that regularly drive through this terrain trying to bring peace and stability to a region that is a largely forgotten front in Afghanistan. For the past 2 years, the Dutch have been operating in this terrain. These 2 years mark the halfway for a Dutch mission which is focusing heavily on the training of the Afghan National Army. Only a year ago, fighting in this region was still intense. The past few months, however, the valleys have been largely peaceful. This in large is thanks to a small group of Dutch OMLT Marines, short for Operational Military Liaison Teams. They have been living with the ANA, mentoring them, and patrolling the area alongside them.
Till a couple of months ago, there was a lot of fighting in this vicinity, in this area. Since like 3 months, 2-3 months, it's getting better. People are getting back to their koalas, and now it's reasonable safe. We don't know for sure. We just don't know. But people are getting back to their koalas. They're getting more out. And in daytime, it looks more safe than a couple of months ago. During the night patrols, we still hear ICOM chat, and we still get local knowledge that there are men walking around with guns through our area of responsibility.
Uruzgan is of vital strategic importance for all sides in this conflict. The insurgency in the south of the country in places such as Kandahar and Helmand is often being supplied with arms from Pakistan. These are passing along supply routes in Uruzgan.
The valley is very important for the Taliban because it's a supply route. Yeah. We're going more and more into the valley, so we're cutting them off, and they don't want it, of course.
But as the Dutch and the Afghan National Army slowly extend their footprint through the valley, building ever more advanced outposts, it is becoming more difficult for insurgents to operate, as the lifelines of the insurgency in the south are gradually cut off.
The situation was totally different last year. Now we have 3 patrol bases here in this area. We have patrol base Bouman, this is Khyber, and over there they built a new patrol base Kudus. A lot of footprint, a lot of operations this year. Yeah, not allowing the OMF to come here anymore, I think. So we really reduced that. That's a fact, I think. Yeah.
But the insurgent threat has not been entirely banished from the area. Just a few days before, the insurgents had launched a rocket attack on the most forward operating base, where the Derakshan and the Baluchi Valley meet.
Well, we pissed the OMF off because we now place 2 FOBs through their main supply route or their own area of movement, so the place there where they stay. So now they're just showing us that they don't want us here. So they just use indirect fire of 107mm rockets and tell us that they want us to leave. So perhaps in maybe in a couple of days, couple of weeks, they just gonna make the effort just stronger and use more things like IEDs or small arms fire or other kinds of harassment or attacks.
The general feeling around camp, however, is that they are just testing how the new FOB will react. The Marines are fully aware of the importance of small gains.
I think the Baluchi Valley itself, we didn't have a footprint there for a few months. And I think the Taliban there had some freedom of movement, because 1 mile here is a long distance and can be a totally different world. So up into the Baluchi Valley, I think that was a safe haven for Taliban. So now Kudus is there, and they're testing Kudus. They're just testing them, but I don't think it's very serious. it's okay.
The mortars are coming and you are making a plan and you're going attack, then that's a problem, okay?
In the next part of this series, the Marines talk about the challenges of working with the ANA. Daniel Morgan for the NATO channel in Afghanistan.